because that affects them. So what? He molested a little boy. What does that affect us? As long as he donates to Coupe Out Ear, it's fine, or whatever charity it is. You know, it's fine. EJF, big deal. Converting. We don't have anything to do with conversions. They're like, who cares? She's some crazy shiksa woman, right? So that stuff's not so, you know, prevalent to them. And that's the stuff that interests me, because sex is sex. I mean, and a Frum sex scandal is like beyond. And if you listen to the tapes, it's even better. You listen to the tapes?
Yeah.
The tapes, you have to listen to the Chopper tapes, by the way. It's hilarious. It's just like, I want to squeeze you, honey. I want to if you're yeshivish, it's even better, because he's so yeshivish. A guy called me up on the phone who sounds exactly like Chopper. He's like, hi, this is Leib Chopper. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, no. I went to his yeshiva and I got his accent down pat. It's hilarious, this guy. Awesome. Pizzalo on Facebook. If you're watching, he was great. He was like, I was like, we got to do a video. We'll do like 2 Choppers, 1 Sholins, or something like that. But, I mean, there are things that need to be talked about, and everything's going to offend someone. That's just how it is. Everything offends someone. If you want to get offended, you can get offended, and that's just how it is. In the Frum community, it's even worse, because you talk about, I mean, I did a show, and I don't know, like, I talked about my dating life, and someone thought, like, that shouldn't be public, that's very private, or whatever. And I'm like, but it's my dating life, you know, like, and that's offensive, or, like, you can't talk about that, or, like, all these things that you can't, of course you could talk about. I mean, our survival hinges on us able to self-deprecate. You know, Jews need to make fun of themselves. That's our strong point. And we make fun of our stupidity, because you take away all the stupidity, and you get to the root of this, you know, the root of our, you know, cultural and religion. There's always stuff that groups do that's crazy, you know? Like checking our water for bugs. Come on, you know?
How did you become a blogger, and when did this happen?
So, I became a blogger in June of 2006. And...
Wait, it wasn't before then?
No.
You sure?
Okay.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. I was working, I did an internship for the New York State Legislature in Albany, and I was working there during budget season. New York State never passes their budget on time, and they argue till like 2 in the morning, because, you know, they argue. I mean, the Democrats, I worked for a Democrat, held control, whatever. And at the time I was a registered Republican, which was interesting, and I told them they would give me crap. I know, I'm sorry. I was a registered, I was out of yeshiva, I registered I'm a Democrat now, don't worry. I'm sorry, I'm really like more of a, like, you know, let me keep my guns, and you guys can have gay marriage, and we're good.
So you cling to your religion and your guns, do you,
yeah.
Heshy?
Yeah. I'm not such a big gun guy, but I have a couple rifles sitting in a basement in Muncie somewhere. But, but I am for gun control, so I'm kind of like a hypocritical. I'm like a liberal gun owner. They have these bumper stickers, liberal gun owner, and you see them once in a while. So, blogging. So, during budget season, there was nothing to do in the office. Do you need to go? You're good? Okay. So, I'm very caring.
You are.
So, he's my host. So, and we're there till 2 or 3 in the morning, and there was nothing to do.
Right.
You know, and so I was like, oh, I'll write about stuff. So I just started writing about random stuff. It was stuff about hiking, it was stuff about Shomer Negia, it was stuff about dating, it was all sorts of stuff. And I'd just broken off an engagement, actually, about 3 months prior to that. I was engaged for a little while. Very frummy stage in my life. I don't know what came over me. I wonder if this girl knows that I exist, who I am. She probably does. Wow, I see up. That's like one of those, like... I like those... I don't know if I should say this. You know those, like, shots where they have, like, you know...
Up shots.
Up shots, yeah, that's right. Those blowjob shots. Anyway, so... not that I would ever watch porn. Of course not, no. I mean, in yeshiva we learned Gemara all day long. But we hid the porns in the Gemaras, actually. That was... we had the Rebbe had a shiroom, the Rosh Yeshiva had a shiroom with a whole, like, antique Shah set that no one ever used, and we put them in between. Such a brilliant
Like,
spot.
what were your favorite magazines in your yeshiva?
I liked Barely Legal.
Barely Legal.
And Finally Legal. All those, like, 18-year-old, Finally Legal, Barely Legal. It escapes me because my dad threw out all my porns when we renovated our house. Like how my dad, like, he didn't care. Like, he was totally...
He didn't care about your
No,
feelings?
it's very,
he just
very...
threw your porn away?
I know, right? Exactly. And I was engaged that was when I was engaged, so I guess it was good, but I haven't bought a porn in years.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet. Why would anyone pay for porn, right? Someone sent me a porn last week, a fan, and there's mezuzahs on the doors. I'm going to send it to you. Hilarious. There's freaking mezuzahs on the doors, and they're like those white, really cheap mezuzahs. You know those kinds. I was looking for the Rebbe picture. That's what I wanted to see. That's his. Sorry.
We stole my material.
Rav Moshe, not the Rebbe. Rav Moshe in the background. You see like, you know, a whole Shulchan Aruch set on the background. They're doing a threesome or something. So and there's a stender, and they throw him over the stender. There's a whole Frum porn aspect in my mind, you know. Honey, you want to do Galila? Sure. It's like, so I started writing, and I had stayed at my friend's house, the Zeldmans, and I only say this because Aaron Zeldman, Zecher Tzadok Lebracha, he passed away very early. He was 37. A good friend of mine. And his wife was into blogging, social blogging. She has a blog called like Solutions for Busy Moms, and there's like, you know, a couple. She's very to the business, life coaching, things like that. You know, I don't believe in life coaching, but whatever. Life coaches to me are people that can't coach their own lives, but whatever. Won't go there. Like self-help kind of stuff. And she was like, yeah, start a blog. I was like, what's a blog? You know, and I had no idea. And a blog is, you know, an internet site. It's like a diary. People can read it. I was like, and I saw like the template. I was like, this looks cool. You know, not from a reading perspective, from like, oh, I can like email this to my friends, and it looks really neat in this like thing, so I don't have to keep it on my hard drive and whatever. So I just put enough stuff, and it took me 6 months to realize that there were comments, that people read the thing. I remember like the first time I got a comment, I was like, people, and then I looked and I was like, oh, people commented on this. I didn't know people comment. And then, you know, I read how to like look at what people are reading, and I was like, 30 people read this? Why would anyone read this? You know, I was just like that, like people read this stuff? I had no idea. I was completely, and that was kind of like something I attribute that as one of my almost like a really really advantageous, because a lot of bloggers who start because they think they're like brilliant and they're going to get 100 million readers, and everyone's going to comment because they're commenting on other blogs. They're like, you know what, I have a lot to say, I'll start a blog. And those blogs become satellites. They just float in blogosphere. They last for 2 weeks. If I add it all up, I probably have over 200 emails from people who started blogs because I was their inspiration, and none of those blogs, only 1 or 2 might exist still. Very rarely do they last longer than 2 or 3 weeks. Because they think, I'm thinking like, how is anyone going to find you? You know, I've taught myself, you know, SEO and, you know, search engine tactics and, you know, things in terms of linking and backlinks and getting links and, you know, whoring myself out for interviews, you know, and things like that, which I've tried to do, but it doesn't always work. And, you know, things like that I taught myself throughout the years, and I actually have gotten jobs. You know, I worked as an internet marketer for over a year for, you know, for a business in Muncie, and, you know, that was just because of, you know, and that taught me PPC and AdWords and all sorts of, you know, different, you know, and, you know, getting into video blogging and all sorts of, you know, things that came out of, really good stuff has come out of blogging. Like, it's really been life-changing and, like, awesome. Like, really good.
What were some of the turning points in your blogging career?
There was a time when I was getting like 100 hits a day, 100, 200 hits a day. And one day my hits went like this. And they like started going like this, and I was like, why did that happen? It was like went up to like 500 or like 300, or at the time I thought it was hits, but it was really page views. Mm-hmm. But still, it was like, it went up to like from 100 page views a day to like 800 page views a day, which was probably more like 400 or 500 hits. And I was like, and then I learned linking. Mm-hmm. 2 bloggers that don't exist anymore linked to me. I wrote a blog post called like the all-inclusive guide to like labeling and judging every sect of orthodoxy, something like that. And I've reposted it a couple times. And basically I took every sect within orthodoxy, within non-orthodoxy as well, and I really put a cynical, I was like, Haredi, you're clutching a stone, standing on Kikar Shabbat, and you're streaming Shabbos at the top of your lungs, and your buddy says, Yanko, come here, we got a girl we're going to throw bleach on because she's wearing pants. And, you know, all that sort of like, you know, modern Orthodox, you like to read the Jewish press, and your wife doesn't cover her hair, but she wears a lampshade hat on Shabbos, and your kids have names like Josh Miller and Ariel Fine, and all this like really and stuff that really resonated with people. People went nuts. So these 2 bloggers were Crumb as a Bagel and Adel Madel, none of whom I don't think exist anymore because I've since taken them off the blog roll. But they really like, and then people read that and they're like, oh, who is this guy? And they read back and they're like, wow, this guy's really just blunt and interesting. And at that point I was anonymous because I didn't see any really need to go unanonymous. Yeah, that was really like the turning point in the blog career. That was like when I started becoming noticed. That was like a noticeable